Fiiish, we three. Rust versus Unity. It's October 8th, 2024. October 8th. Wow. Tuesday, and that means we're not working on this. We're not working on this. Well, we're working on Fiiish, but not the need to practice this, right? Not the Godot version. Not the Godot version. Today is a Unity day, and you know what that means, right? Unity. Running out of RAM and disk space. I needed to do some cleanups, shut down some stuff, delete files before I could even open Unity. So I hope this will work now. Shall we dive straight in? And that I need to add some bubbles to that dive in motion, right? So we're not working on this, but a little refresher. Excuse me, slight cold coming in. So the Godot version is looking quite nice, right? Because we did the cross-fading buttons, and we did the menu and had the slide bug that you can only click them at the very top. I don't know why. Everything else works. And we added the pause function, and you can press pause, P for pause. You can swim with space. Maybe you should be able to swim with click. I'm not sure yet. Button configuration. We have the magnets and pickups working. We have the coin explosion working. We have the multiple zones working. We have. Let's cheat a bit here. I need the drop downs to select the zones actively, right? Can I get something with a coin explosion, please? No, I can't. So many zones. Ah, there. That's a nice one, right? That is a nice one. So we added the magnet, the coin rain, and the green one is the explosion. And you can see that Unity is running in the background because our frame rate is dropping suddenly. But this is the Godot version, and if we stick to the original plan, so having far too much fun with this, let's die, collect the coins, and maybe when you die, all the coins should just fall down the bottom. Nice optimization there, right? Final screen not implemented, so Godot version. But today, right, is a Unity day, because we did like 3 streams on Godot, and before that we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streams on Unity. So technically, would be fair to work on Godot. No, I'm making excuses. We stick to the original plan, at least for this project. So we added the in-game HUD, right? The upper right corner and the pause thing. And we added the pause menu and settings. And settings is not working, but as soon as we add music and sound effects, we'll make the music and sound effect toggle button work, right? I'm not sure if we're gonna get there. Probably we will end up drawing a line here and call this experiment finished, but let's see. Let's see. So today, Unity, and we have a much nicer coin explosion in Godot than Unity, but I'm not going to go back to that and polish that. I'm instead going to ban people who spam the chat. Bam, gone you are. Bye-bye. Clickbot thingy. So we want to add the in-game HUD in Unity, and I already have nightmares of HUD in Unity. So just for reference, and we're gonna use this is probably gonna, CloudFront distribution. The domain name finally was moved. So shall I? You never saw this. You never saw this, right? You never saw this. This does not exist, and I don't know how long it will exist. The depacking here at the end is a bit weird that it takes so long after loading, or did it get stuck? So same problem with the button here, right? So I guess it's something generic, and we can swim and you can see there's nothing being spawned, right? And the problem is for some reason that is partially known. Oh, obviously I cannot use the, yeah, this is that. The zones are not in the package, or at least not where I expect them. So we'll need to figure that out, but that's for when we go back to Godot. And don't forget this URL, this thing doesn't exist, right? So Unity, but we wanted to check this, right? So this is the Rust v2 version, and this is the Unity v3, and ignoring the wrong coin explosion and the bad debug UI, but you can play the game, right? You have the coin rain. That was the last thing we implemented in Unity, which behaves slightly different, but I don't care about the details, right? And the next button is working, and let's actually find a zone that has a coin explosion, rain. Ah, there was one. There is one. There is one, right? So the coin explosion looks a bit weird in Unity because we played too much instead of making explosion, but it's good enough to prove that we can do a coin explosion, right? So what's missing? Let's pause this, right? What's missing is if you start playing, you get these two things here, right? The pause button obviously is missing and the whole pause functionality. That's part two. Part one is let's get this stuff in, right? And that should be pretty straightforward, I hope. But this is Unity, right? So let's see. And I'm super sorry. I tried to start this series of Godot versus Unity as neutral as I could, but there's limits to everything, right? And if a game engine makes your life harder than it needs to be, then why? I'll try to do it till the end. We do the score comparison, and then we have our verdict. But I know where this is going, right? So UI, more UI in Unity. So we have textures, right? And we don't have the UI textures. So let's actually open two of these. Oh, because I want to go to Fiiish v3 to the assets folder, right? And then I want a second finder window. There were multiple ways of doing this. I don't know why I did it this way. So this is the assets folder in Unity, right? And here's textures. So, and here's the UI textures, right? So I'm just going to create a new folder, call that UI. And new folder buttons. And then here I just put all the buttons in, right? My bad, too fast. I copy all the buttons. I hope I didn't totally confuse Unity now. Right? And then I copy these here, copy them in here, right? So we have them just in case. And if I open Unity now, we have UI. Nice, we have the buttons. We have the boxes, the screen frames, the mini icons, and the button stuff, right? Which is nice. Yeah, and it automatically created sprites. So step one, let's go in here, right? And set the pixels per unit to 1. Otherwise we get that weird scaling issue, and I'm gonna set them both to full rectangle, right? Because tight doesn't really make sense for these two down here. In this case, we want filtering. Everything else is okay. So let's apply this. So let's use them, right? So we have the debug UI, and that has a panel. I'm going to create another empty in here, right? Game object, create empty, and call this HUD. And in the HUD, I'm going to create a UI canvas, right? And now we have to be careful. Let's call this HUD canvas. The thing is, oh, this was a panel, right? This is a canvas, screen space. I mean, this could just be our canvas, right? My bad. So you just add a component. Canvas, right? And use the same settings. So that's screen space, camera, main camera. I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. I mean, I want a screen space overlay, to be honest, right? And then let's just add something at a vertical box, right? So UI, no, different thing, right? So HUD VBox, right? We have multiple rows. And then inside we have a coin HBox, right? Coin HBox, and obviously in there we have a UI draw image. Right, so we can use the texture and just use the, yeah, let's just drag this one in, right? Scaling is totally off. Why? Why? I mean, this coin here has a size of 64 by 64, right? Oh. Oh, maybe it's not that far off. I mean, it is too big, right? And the thing is, I don't think it doesn't scale with the, and it looks weirdly pixelated. So let's move it in the corner and then fix it, right? So we need to add a component here that is horizontal layout group. And then we add a, no, I messed that up, right? This is not a horizontal layout group. This is a vertical layout group. And then this is a horizontal layout group. And why? So this one here needs to be anchored. Well, why is this not the full size? I'm not sure. This is better, right? Is it? I mean, now it's gone. So where did it go? Oh, because it's behind the background, right? It's behind the background. So layer, right? And we steal the layering system from this is not the project I was looking for. Right, the UI is on layer 8, and I don't think we have layers here. So sorting layer is, add a sorting layer and call that UI. Thank you for automatically having my back. And UI is very much in front. That's fine, right? So we go back to where we were. I wish there was a back button and say, this is UI, right? So the HUD is correct, right? It's using the full camera frame, whatever that is. Then we have the VBox, which should be anchored to the top right? Oh, and let me set the position to 0. Why is the width 100? Who set the width to 100? I mean, this coin image, right, is 100 by 100. Okay, fair enough. This coin image is 100 by 100? Are we sure? No, it's the mini icon coin, right? That file is 64 by 64, my friend. It's 64 by 64. Where does the 100 come from? Where does this 100 come from? This clearly says 64 by 64. Where does the 100 come from? And this says 64 by 64, right? So why the hell? So this coin image obviously is 64 by 64, right? And then I wish the box would just auto layout, which it doesn't. But there's something weird too, right? So we set the anchor. This is okay, right? This box should be anchored at the top right. Why is... Oh, because the pivot needs to be at 1, 1, right? And then we can do... Duh! So obvious, right? I have no idea what just happened. So let's add the text, right? Let's add UI text. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, fair enough. This goes here, and this is coin value text, right? And obviously the whole... What do I do wrong? Can you, right? Why is this box not... Unity horizontal layout group auto size to fit children. This can be done by adding a component called content size fitter. Obviously, it doesn't work out of the box. You have to do something weird. Okay. Add a content size fitter to the same game object which has the text component. Then set both horizontal fit and vertical fit to the preferred setting. I'm pretty sure this is gonna go wrong. So do we do the same for the... Okay. And now we do the same for the box, right? Because why simple when complicated works? And now for this one, what if we use left and set this to Y, because our pivot, wait. I can enter whatever I want. It will just override it and wreck it. Okay, so the coin box. Oh, child alignment. On the coin H box is center right, correct? Middle center, middle right. Middle right, because we want it to grow to the left. So if the text goes bigger, wouldn't it be nice if it would auto fit the text? And I mean, what the? Oh. Oh. Let's see if that works at runtime. I mean, well, what the Unity? None of what just happened. I mean, this is the wrong size. This is definitely the wrong size, right? Because it's not scaling. So the debug UI, right? The debug UI is also not scaling. Unity UI canvas scale with viewport. Okay. Canvas scalar. Do we need to? So this is our canvas, right? Oh. Why can't it just work out of the box? And it doesn't. Where is the actual player resolution? 1920 by 1080, right? Is our, so this is our reference resolution, right? And I guess we want 0.5 here. And we want 1 pixel per unit, right? This will totally Oh, look. It's scaling. And it's scaling. And for the debug UI, I don't care, but for this was important. So that's the coins, right? And it's a bit close to the edge, so maybe I give this a little bit of padding, right? And I'm not going to edit in edit mode. And so I want... Okay, that works. And I also want like 16 at the top, right? Just to get it a bit moving. And then for the H box, I think I want spacing, right? Just so it doesn't cuddle too close. So I wonder if this broke now. We still have to import the font. You still have to import the font, and I'm going to do that before I do the second row, but I kind of think this might be correct now. This is correct. I mean, probably it should be like this, right? And then Pro, iPhone, too close to the edge, but I think it's fine. Yeah. Kind of okay. It's a bit close to the edge, but still fine. I don't care about weird esoteric fonts, to be honest. So this is our target platform, right? And here it looks perfect. So let's switch back to game. How do I add the font? Yeah, okay, fair enough. And obviously let's do this again. Let's open the assets. Unity is running. I can feel my system getting slower. It's amazing. It is amazing. So this is Unity. And here's the assets. And I'm just going to create a new folder. New folder, fonts. And I'm just going to copy this, including the license in here. And I haven't found the email with the license key for the font, so I'm just going to rebuy it probably. So we have fonts, right? We have a font size 16. Probably not what we want, but let's see. How do I set the font here? Can I just... Okay, so this is a font, right? Why can't I apply the font? It would have been too easy, right? Unity add custom font. Probably it's 3 magic clicks. How to import fonts. Font assets. Manual. To add a font. Import it. Change the size. How do I use it? How do I... in the Text Mesh Pro inspector, set the font. I mean, this is also, this is an F, right? So this is a font, right? So, but this is something else, right? Because this is a TMP font. Unity use TTF as TMP font. Font import guide. Press Ctrl Shift F12 to create a font asset? No. This is a joke, right? This is a joke. Yeah. I'm getting a headache from this. Oh. Seriously? Seriously? So where do I set the... So where do I set the shadow? Text Mesh Pro add outline. Outline, not shadow. Outline width. Outline component. Outline. Outline. Let's set the outline to... I want the outline, but can the outline please be... Oh, the outline is actually an overlay, so it's not... Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I hope that scales with... That scales badly. I mean, seriously? Let's see how that looks in game. Everything's so complicated. In just I would love to turn on the Godot version for comparison, but that would be a bit unfair. So come on. So we didn't have an outline in the original, so this one is already better, right? So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm not sure if I want to turn off the filtering for that texture, to be honest. I just... Coin image, where's the texture? UI, mini icon coin. the texture needs some love, right? But I think the pixelated look looks better. Maybe let's compare. Doing artist work. Look how perfect this texture looks here. So let's go back to bilinear filtering. Let's go back to filtering, right? And it's nice that you can see it. Wouldn't it be nice if you could see it when I edit it here? That would be too easy, right? And why? It's compressing it kaput. It's a 64 byte, it's a 16 kilobyte texture. Why are you destroying it, Unity? Why are you destroying it, Unity? So the texture needs no love. The texture is fine. It was Unity deciding, yeah, I smash your texture and mess it up. Actually, did it do the same for the coins? All my... Do you see that? And the box is too tight, it's generating. Right, if you... It's cutting off pixels. It's... Oh, Unity. We're gonna make a game, we're not gonna polish it and make it look amazing. We're just gonna make it work in Unity. I've given up on this pile of burning. It's supposed to make my life easier, not harder, right? So, just visually, I'm going to copy the coin box and make it the distance box, right? So I'm going to duplicate this. And here I see the first problem, right? This editor is something for people with no life. I'm going to use this mini icon, and obviously, very obviously, it decided to mess up the texture as well. I mean, what's it actually saving? I mean, 16 kilobyte. We save 12 kilobyte and make the game look super ugly, right? Probably just using a texture atlas would fix the problem as well. And I want to look into that. Remember that coin, right? Remember that this coin here, I believe. Let's check the blue coin real quick while we're here, right? Textures, pickups, coin blue. We have no filtering. I mean, we talk about 32 objects, right? With and it doesn't show me. Let's not compress them and see if it looks better. If it instantly looks better. I think the filter is actually mushing it up. I mean, why is it doing this weird? This looks completely broken. This is not my textures. This is not my textures. I mean, just for comparison. Right, look at these textures. They look perfect. They look absolutely perfect. And then look. And look at this. What the hell is even this? This is not I just can't. Sorry for the sound. Same for the green one here, right? This looks perfect and Unity, what are you doing? What are you doing? Unity, what are you doing to my texture? I mean, it's the third time that it messes up our textures, right? There's something very weird going on. I mean, I don't even want to debug this, to be honest. I mean, let's have a quick look at the Godot version, right? Just so perfect textures. Absolutely pristine textures, right? And absolutely perfect textures in our handcrafted version, and in our Unity version, they look like absolute trash. Why? Just for later. I mean, why is Unity trashing our textures? I don't get it. And I will never get it because I don't give a damn. And wouldn't it be nice, just saying, okay, fair enough, because this box is smaller than this box, and then but we said right align, right? We said this one, upper right. Okay, we right align everything, and then it should just work, right? Because this is here, this is here. We have the margin here, the padding. Sorry, padding, and then we middle right align. So it aligns on this axis and it shifts to the right. Your right, my left. And if this gets longer, it stays right aligned at runtime, I hope. So we haven't done anything. We added a bit of fields here. So now we need to add a script to the HUD, right? So let's add a component. Actually, let's create a new script. Call this HUD. It should be HUD technically, but let's call it HUD. Otherwise things will start to go a bit crazy. And then we just add component, no. And then we just drag the HUD component onto this, right? So we have a HUD now. Let's edit the HUD. Hello, JetBrains. Okay, here's the HUD. So the HUD needs, actually just needs the coin value text and the distance value text, right? And that's Text Mesh Pro. And we already did this in the debug UI. So we're just gonna, we have this Text Mesh Pro GUI for the label, right? So we have this coin value label, right? And then we have the distance value label. And then I like to split this out into setup, right? Which just, well, technically, so we could do it like this, right? We could just retrieve it. Actually, we do it like that. We do it exactly like this, right? And actually, we have the exact code here because we already show the coins, right? It's coins. Is it coins or coin value label? Let's rename this, right? Let's rename this to coins. And rename this to coins. I want to change the name for... So we have the coins value text. Is this actually the name? Right, so we have the coins value text. Probably this is fixed with import. Right, and this is coins value label. And then we copy these two and do it for the distance value label. Right, and obviously we need to rename the element here to... After we've finished looking at loading bars, we're gonna rename this here. Right, so this is the setup. So obviously this will need, we just do it as in the game, in the debug UI, right? The debug UI knows the game. Right, we give it the game. We just externally give it the game. Too much wiring up, but to be honest, I couldn't be bothered less. So the HUD knows the game, right? So we just drag the game in there. Because the game actually has our game component, right? So the HUD has the game, and then we can ask the game in the update, right? The game has a get coins, something coins. Has a coin scatter. So we just get the coins as an int, which is easy enough, right? And basically, we could just do this, right? So in the update, we get the coins, and we set the coins value label to the coin string. Distance to be done. And obviously, oops, we need to wire up setup, right? And this means coins display should be partially working now. The whole reset logic is probably... Okay, so coins is 0. We collect 2 coins. And we collect more coins. That's fair. We don't have a value for the magnet. So the magnet counts as a coin and the green stuff counts like a coin, right? And then I die. And I go and respawn and we reset the coins. That was coins. That was easy. real quick, cause our pickups, right? Our pickup prefabs, right? They do have a value. So the value of the things should actually be 0. I'm not sure. Maybe that was just not saved. Fair enough. So if we collect these two, we should get 1 coin, right? Because the blue coin spawns the rain, but isn't a coin in itself. Okay, that works. And then the raining down coins count. Okay. This is going to be a bit hard to see, but is the magnet actually... I don't know. I just assume it works. So that was the coins, right? Now we want the distance. And for that, we have this distance in meters, right? And I'm gonna go to the Godot version real quick because it's easier to see here. The game manager. Why is everything closed? The game has a get game manager. Okay, we do it slightly different here. And that has pixels per meter, right? And that is 100, so we're going to set the same value here. That's what I wanted to check. So the game manager. Nope, wrong thing here, right? So float pixels per meter. Was it actually 100? 100. Right? So the game and current distance in meters, and just is the same, right? So game manager current distance in meters to be implemented, right? And that's why I'm just gonna steal this semicolon missing, go to the game manager. Actually, I want to go here, right? And that needs to do, we need some logic here, right? Retune. So we don't have the distance, right? I don't think we have the distance. So we have a private int distance, right? And that's 0.0. Private float, because that's the distance in pixels, right? So on every update, if we are moving, actually this is good, right? Then distance plus equals speed. We just move forward, right? That's one part. Then when we get the distance, where's the... So what we basically do is we say distance divided by pixels per meter, right? And that... Okay. To be honest, we just cast it and just to be sure, right? The int cast probably flaws it anyway, but shall we give this a shot? Oh, yeah, sure, no. So in the HUD, obviously we say var distance equals game dot current distance in meters. And then we say distance value label is distance to string. I have no idea how to format a string. It just works. Okay, so we can use dollar and then the squiggly braces. Can we do this? Dollar distance space meter. Just M, right? Just M. Let's see, and before I forget, just because it's red, let's add this file, right? Let's see what happens. It's probably completely broken because we're missing some reset logic. It resets to 0. It starts moving. And remember, the first hit here was 18 meters? Was it 18 meters? Was it 18 meters? Was it? I'm getting hungry. So from the start to the first rock, oh, it's 18 meters on a, okay, we have to be fair here, right? We have to be fair here. It's 18 meters. On a 4x3, right? And I just winged this, so this might be wrong. I assume our 23 meters. This is 18 meters. Wait. But it is actually counting meters, right? Yeah, it's counting meters, not coins. What's super annoying, you see this here. This is not automatically aligned. This is jumping up. Do you see that? But why is this jumping? The coin should be right aligned, right? Reset coin be right aligned. So why is the coin jumping when the... That's silly. So we can cheat a bit, right? Because the value text right now has a content size fitter. Does it? I mean, we can make it very, very large, right? Oh, that's so... What if we disable the content size fitter and just say, hey, I want you to be 400, right? And then we say, hey, text mesh, please right align. And then the box is big enough so it doesn't jump around, right? So the coin should stop jumping. The distance will still jump. Not ideal, but... So the coin box size doesn't change, so it doesn't constantly realign, right? I think the flag should be stable too, but if this workaround works, I'm fine with it, right? So we do the same here. And just disable the content size fitter, set the width to, I don't know, 400, right? And right align the text. And now the flag should also be rock solid. Right, so no more jittering here. I mean, using a non-monospaced font for counters is always a bit dodgy, but works for me. Works for me, right? So, and if I die, oh, the respawn obviously needs to reset the distance. So when I do this, when the coins go to 0, the distance needs to go to 0 as well. So somewhere in the game manager, we set coins equals 0, right? Prepare respawn makes sense. Distance equal, that's equals 0, right? And after only 1 hour, we did what we did in Godot in 15 minutes, but Unity. Maybe you should call it slowity, right? So when I die, everything is fine. The coin set Z fighting is really annoying because they have a clear rendering order, but and if I respawn, the distance goes to 0, right? We will add clean fading. You see the obstacles plop out. We will add some clean fading at some point. But today is about the HUD, right? And this is actually looking good, okay-ish. This is actually looking okay-ish. You could argue, make the font size larger. Yeah, polishing for now. I just care about that. It works at all. Oh, I wanted to collect some coins while talking. Let's try this again. How many coins can I collect? Coins. And we don't have the rain and explosion. Don't spawn rain and explosion like the Godot version, which makes this a bit unfair. Where was my explosion? Oh, I had the super magnet, so I swallowed the explosion. I think we need to fix. If you have some time at the end of today with Unity UI, I don't think that's gonna happen. We are gonna fix the explosion, because remember in Godot we added this spawned coins from an explosion are safe, are non-magnetic for the first half second or so, so they have actual time to fly away. And we're going to do the same in Unity just to make it a bit more fair. I'm still super annoyed that my beautiful coins are I mean, look at this Z fighting mess here. That's stuff I just expect to work out of a box for a product at this price, to be honest, and it doesn't. And that alone would probably be a reason for me not to use it, but we're gonna finish this experiment, I promised you. Come on, collect the magnet. Nice. I really want to do the shop so you can buy upgrades. No! Don't stream and dive. Don't stream and dive. I'm gonna make more stupid diving jokes, so I decided to do a bit more incremental. I just decided right now to do a bit more incremental commits. I used to do 1 commit per stream, but I think we're gonna do... There it is. We're gonna do 1 commit per major item, right? And this definitely was a major item, so I'm not so good with it to do in progress. That's what it is. We want to finish this, I hope, before the end of the month. I mean, we still have time. We've only been at it for like 5 weeks, so we have 3 more week-ish. Hashtag Unity at hard with coin and distance info, right? That adding of a font was a bit weird. Let's do one check real quick. I want to check the hot here, right? We have a hot here as well. We have a hot here as well, and we have the coin value, right? And I think the font here is much smaller, right? Because this is a stream, and we have the how do I How do I? Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. This is the all these fonts are wrong. I mean, this font here is right, and I know this is not a Godot game day, but so remember the error messages we had last time when we used Godot, we that was because my disk was full, because Unity was using like 80 gigabytes of disk in the background. And hot score label. Hot score label. Oh. We have the hot panel. And we have the hot score label, right? Which has the font and has a font size of 32. I'm not sure why this is not shown here. It works when we play, right? It works. So probably I just wanted to steal the font size before we commit this, right? And just for consistency. Just for consistency. So, but now I'm going to do a commit. I'm going to do a commit, and you see I did one commit. I'm going to go off stream. I'm going to go into that real quick after pushing. Add hot to Unity. Right, so we updated the to-do. I really want a new line here. We added the containers. Oh, this was Godot. We changed the coin value for the explosion, for the magnet, and for the rain, right? Wouldn't it be nice? So, in the sample scene, we added some stuff. I really don't want to read this stuff. We added the current distance in meters. We added the pixels per meters and the current distance in meter count. We changed the sprite texture compression in the attempt to make it better. And it didn't do that for the folder. It did it for each individual item for, I don't know. We added a new, the tag manager asset contains the render layer. Okay, fair enough. We added the UI. We need to add DS store to the git ignore at some point, right? Yes, we want the fonts, the license, the SDF, and the SF. Okay, so you have to tell it, hey, out of that true type font, make an SDF. Fair enough. We added the hot. We added the UI. Buttons. Tons of buttons. Which we didn't use today. We will use later-ish. And that's 80 files, right? So we do a rebase. You have unstaged changes. We need to add the DS store to the git ignore, right? We don't have a git ignore, but do we have a... We do have a git ignore. And that doesn't have a ds store in it. Wow. So, right, we want to get rid of these here. Dot ds store, right? And we're gonna stage this, and we're gonna just because, and it will only apply add ds store to git ignore for Unity. Git ignore add store ignore Unity. Didn't we just say... I never can remember the syntax. Probably a star, right? No? I think it's this syntax that's important, right? Yeah. Now we have two commits doing the same thing. But it will stop asking us about the... Which is fine, right? So how are we doing for time? Ban evader, nice try, Mr. Bot. Where were we, right? I think we have the in-game HUD done, right? So we need to add the pause. And the pause. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to, but we're gonna do it anyway. So we add a top left menu, right? And probably, I'm not sure if it's better to have one. I think we have that on one, right? But then we need to move the script down and do some renaming. And do I want to do this? So what if I duplicate this, right? Remove everything under it. Call this game UI canvas, right? Then here, I move the HUD under this and remove the canvas here. Okay, I remove the canvas here and a canvas scaler and then the canvas, right? So I moved the logic up, I hope by copying it without messing everything up, and have the HUD logic in here, right? Well encapsulated. I didn't want to create a second canvas because I think there's a cost to it. And this looks like I broke it. Oh, come on, Unity. Why? What did we break now? Okay, so this here, right? Anchors. Was that all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120 that this could be smooth scaling, but okay. I'm checking if this is still in the top right. Okay, fair enough. The root canvas didn't have the anchor set to the corner, so when I copied it, it got mushed up, right? So, okay, fair enough, because these values were scripted. So this is just a game object now, right? Well, let's create a new game object, create an empty, and let's call this in-game menu, in-game dialog, in-game menu. What did we call it? What did we call it here? Here we called it in-game pause menu. Yeah, we're gonna use the same name. In the end, it doesn't matter, but right, and just like this is at the HUD is using the full screen, right? The in-game pause menu is using the full screen, so we stretch. I'm not sure what the couldn't it do this automatically? So we do the same as before. We visually design it and then we implement the code. So we have a horizontal box. That's one part, right? So we add an empty. I'm never gonna get used to this. So in-game button H box. We add a component, call that horizontal layout group, to be defined, right? This thing here goes to the top left. Ah, that's the trick, the alt click, right? Obviously. So we have this H box and now we add a button. Let's add a simple button first. We do the crossfade with the pause, non-pause later, right? So UI, how do I add a button? How do I add a button? Why is this called legacy? Why is this called legacy? So this is the pause button, right? This is the pause button. We want an image on it, so we select the texture, which is probably gonna be UI buttons. Button pause, right? Obviously it, wait, so we have UI here, we don't have the, no, we have to close this to multi-edit, right? We want this, we want full rect, we want no mashing of our stuff, right? And then we go back here, and obviously we know the texture is 128, so why don't we, right? That's what we wanted. I hope. And then the box, right? The H box. Why is it not fitting the children, right? So, okay, because we learned something, we need to manually add a content fitter, because who wants to, and then you have to click 5 times for Unity to understand that you did something. I mean, who wants a container that fits its children? I mean, that's a very rare edge case, right? Nobody wants a container that automatically fits their children. It's like crazy. I'm pretty sure that our button here, I mean, why is this box? Why is this box smaller than the children, right? Wait, didn't we do the same here? So this is a layout group, right? Oh, so none of the words in the sentence make sense. I mean, so what you're saying is this should not have a content size fitter. Right? So we just set it to 128, and why? And obviously the pivot needs to be, but only when I where the what the okay, I want it at 0, right? But so all our pivots are at the top right, right? So I want all our pivots, all our anchors, sorry, anchors to be at the top left, right? So top, sorry, upside down. That means I want my element. Yeah, and no. Okay, I'm on the wrong thingy here, right? Yes, 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 my bad. So that is this, right? And I want this, which has a position of 0 and the all the anchors at the top right. So I want this, all the anchors at the top left and the position of 0, which I just did 2 minutes ago, which didn't work. And then I add padding at the left and at the top. And then our box doesn't fit the... Oh. Do I need a content size fitter here? Okay. So maybe I don't need the content size fitter here. Oh, it's off anyway, right? So I can just remove that. So that's our pause button, right? Step 1. And then we duplicate that. Then we duplicate that and call it settings button, right? And then we change the texture for that because it's not the settings button image. It's do I actually, or do I? Okay. And then in this box, I want a little bit of spacing, right? And if I start now, both of them should stick to the upper left corner. and scale. The UI system in Unity is super weird. And I'm not sure what, there's some text there, right? Can I please zoom in? There's something weird going on here. Oh, because our pause button, no. I'm pretty sure there's some text on this button. Yeah, it says button. Where does this text come from? I mean, thank you, Unity. This is a button, yeah. Oh, I don't need the text on the button. So this is basically just a UI control with an image, right? And a canvas renderer. And the button for the interactable stuff. Okay. Image type is simple. We don't want any slicing or filling. That was the button we needed to press to get the actual image size from here up here, right? So we have these two buttons which do nothing. So let's wire them up, I would say. Let us wire up these buttons. So we add the script at this level again, and maybe they shouldn't all be in scripts, right? The kitchen versus the picnic. One day I will in game pause menu, and then I go here again because it lost it, and I would love to finish my work today, Unity. All right, and then I go in here and have the usual void. I'm not sure if I should switch editors because Writer is not making me happy at the moment. Right, so we have setup here, just the usual boilerplate. And then what's the type of this? Actually, we don't even need to, well, we need the button because we want to kind of toggle it, right? So what is the type of a button? What is the type of this? And obviously it opened in the wrong browser. Button. Wouldn't it be nice if they had the like the class of the thing that implements this? Right here in the, I mean, yes, I can go to the scripting API and search for button, but wouldn't the cross-link be super nice, right? Because all I want to do is I want the Unity Engine UI elements button. And it's actually button, right? It's actually button. It's actually button. So we have a private button, pause button, and we have a private button settings button, right? Unity Engine UI button. Or is it? I don't know. It's Unity Engine UI elements button. I hope. And then we do the same as here, right? So in setup, in setup, we get the pause button. Too much boilerplate. All right, pause button, go get component button. And that is the pause button, right? And then we copy that because the autocomplete is driving me crazy. And the settings button is the settings button. And this is the settings button. And this is the settings button, right? In the setup, we get all our buttons. In the update, we do nothing, but we will have a public void on button pressed, and we call this on pause button pressed, right? And we have on settings button pressed. Yeah. And then after just an hour of reloading, wait, no reloading? Okay. Okay. On settings button, it's on click, right? So we call it on clicked. Names are important, so. Right, so we drag the menu in here because dragging is the way to do it. And then we say on, this is the pause button, on pause button clicked, right? And then here we do the same, we wire this up, drag this in. We probably could do this programmatically and say on settings button clicked, right? And for now, we just do a debug log on pause button click. Nice auto completion for a change. Debug log on settings button clicked. And how far in are we? Oh, we're still doing good on time. We're still doing good on time. So we look at the console. And this button obviously is not clickable. And my guess is, let's disable the HUD real quick. All right, let's disable the HUD. Is it the HUD or is it the debug UI? So the debug UI is working, right? But this is not working. So let's re-enable this. Let's disable the debug UI just to see if there's some weird interaction going on, right? We had that before. So debug UI. Wait, what? The debug UI, my friend, is completely disabled. Okay, that's apparently not how you... This is how you disable. Oh, obviously the eye is just visible in editor. So it's disabled and we can't click. Now we do the same for the HUD, but we disable it here. Where does the null reference come from? I mean, the HUD is disabled. Why are you calling it script? Why are you... It's not here, but the script is running happily, right? Okay. So why is this button here not getting clicks? I mean, runtime only is fine on click, right? I mean, the layer comes from shouldn't it inherit the layer from the parent? What if what the nope, 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 nope. Wrong. That was the work browser. If any of them have been hit. Blocking masks. Type of objects that will block graphics raycasts. So my guess is that the debug UI is blocking. I mean, probably the debug UI shouldn't be its own canvas anyway, right? But how do I... How do I disable this? Oh, nice. What does this checkbox do here? Okay, let's open this in properties. So we probably should move this to be a sibling on the same canvas anyway. What if we set the blocking mask to none and just see what happens? Are my buttons broken or? Let's undo this real quick, right? So I'm gonna delete this debug UI. I hope I can undo this, otherwise we're in trouble. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. So why is this button not clickable? Is the HUD blocking the in-game pause menu? I mean, the HUD can now be top right, right? I mean, why the I said top right, please. And Shouldn't this be 0? Oh, but only if the pivot is 1, right? What? That's exactly what I did. So well, why I this so shouldn't I've lost it, to be honest. I mean, right now, the nice thing is this, right? Should not block the UI, and that's all I wanted. I have no idea what I'm doing here, right? And these buttons are not working. So we have the in-game pause menu, right? We have the box. We have a button here that has a on-clicked, in-game, on-clicked, right? And the on-click triggers a debug log. It should. It's interactable, right? Why is this button not clickable? What am I missing? I mean, you look in the scene, there's nothing blocking it, right? Well, this here. You know, the thing is, Unity UI button not clickable. I mean, I feel slightly silly for make sure the graphic has raycast target. Enabled, yes. I mean, make sure the button has its interactable set to true. Interactable is to true. So we have a raycast target. With the size, right? It's visible. It's if there's a nested canvas in the button's parent, that canvas also needs a graphics raycaster. If there's a nested canvas in the button's parents, that also needs a graphics raycaster. Really? But I just want a frickin' button, Unity. I mean, ignore the rat. This is better. I mean, it shouldn't do anything at all, so... But really? So can we undo the damage I did? Okay. Wait. I'm pretty sure this here will be so the trick was, and I don't have the highlight color here. I mean, this, can you see this is gray? Fair enough. So the trick is here, I need to add a graphics graycaster manually because I need some sanity. I need some sanity from this Unity insanity. And I need some body to moderate the box. So, okay, we have buttons now that we can click. Yay! So, what we need is this button to do something, right? So this button should toggle pause, right? So this button should toggle pause. So we have an internal function that we call private void toggle pause, right? Because we want to also hook it up via a button. So the game manager, I think it already has a pause, right? It already has a... So I'm going to cheat, right? I want similarity. So the game manager has a paused here, right? Has a paused. So I assume our game manager here it has a moving. This is interesting, right? Because we're gonna do it slightly different here, because we in Godot we just pause the whole tree, and here we probably just so what if the game, right? And that just returns game manager toggle pause, right? And this will just return the new pause status, right? So can you, when I click there, can you just go there? Right, and this is paused equals not paused to be added. It's not there yet, right? And then we return the new paused value, and that goes to the very top somewhere. This needs some cleanup, right? Paused is false. So we have a toggle paused now, which does nothing. And before I forget it, let's git add this, right? And now we toggle paused, but we need to do something on paused, right? And I think let's just go through the whole bloody thing. So if moving and not, well, okay. What we can do is if paused, let me just early out, right? We don't update anything in paused mode, and then the rest should just work. because all of that is driven from I think the world will be moving. So I want to intentionally not add the pause here. So we have pause move. So pause and resume is game logic, right? It's driven by the fish, while pause is driven by the user. So it's user pause and game pause, kind of. And we just toggled the user pause, right? So all compiler errors paused. I'm not going to talk about Unity UI anymore. We just make it work and then, so, oh, I toggle pause is doing nothing, right? Why not? Because, okay, because, So, toggle pause, right? If paused, debug log paused, else debug log resumed, right? Yeah. Just to see if it even gets there. The problem is that does nothing, right? We probably, if I manage to press pause once, we'll stop collecting pickups. All right, so if I press it's not even called. Okay, I'm gonna remove this log, right? Because it's quite spammy. Did we unfix the button? I mean, it's reacting, right? So, okay. In-game pause menu. I mean, we don't have the game here, right? So we need the game. Just like that. Yeah, we never wired that up, right? I mean, because we need to change some UI. It's not game, it's game. Right, and then here, obviously, if Unity lets us, we need to hook that in. And if we actually pause stuff, stuff will pause, right? So we start swimming, rain, and we stop collecting the coins, right? But we're not actually paused. We are not actually paused, right? So this is, let's do this again. Right, so we are paused, so we cannot collect stuff anymore. And it says paused, but everything is still working, right? And maybe that's the better way of doing it. So as soon as I unpause, I can, and if I pause it, right? But that's not what we want. So we want the world to stop moving when I'm paused. So the moving part is easy. That's the part we just said, hey, we have the current speed, right? And not paused. Right? So everything should get the speed from here. If not, we messed up, but that's not all, right? We have the pickups and so everything stopped moving. The fish is still swimming. It's kind of nice. So the coins fall down, right? So they should obey the pause status. And I wonder if you could just disable update for whole tree. Because if we could just say game, no, we can't do this, right? Yeah. I mean, Unity pause tree. What's the... Yeah. All of this is... I mean, all this discussion for something like pause is no. No, no, no. I don't even want the update to be called, to be honest. I don't want delta time to be 0. I don't want the update to be called. None of this. So I probably... Oh, you do it manually. Thank you. Yeah, they do the same. Ah, okay. So we just do it manually. I mean, we just do it manually, right? The game manager, probably should be is pause, to be honest. Is paused, and then the game... I mean, this doesn't need to do anything, right? But the sad thing is the fish, right? The fish is doing all the logic, which it shouldn't do. What if... And I'm not a fan of this, but what if we gave the fish the game as well, right? That's not right. I would love to have the game here say, hey, don't update my children, right? So Unity don't call update on children. That would be the right thing to do, right? Can I stop update? Update is every frame if the behavior is enabled. So can I disable? No. Enabled. It's a property, right? Can I set the property? Can I just on the game? Can I just set it to enabled? Can I do this? So maybe the fish doesn't need the game. Can I? Right, when the game toggles the pause. And then we return that. Can we just say, in this case, right? But the problem is with our current hierarchy, we lose the camera, which is on the game. So probably our game script should be under this somewhere, but we can move that to, we don't need to be all the way up there. Oh. Okay. But for now, all I want to say is enabled equals not paused, right? This will probably end ugly. Basically we're saying, I'm not sure why. Basically we're saying when we press the pause button, we disable this object. And this is too, the problem is the rendering will also, well, the rendering should not be disabled, right? So if you go to the scene now, wait, the documentation said enabled behaviors are updated, disabled behaviors are not. It doesn't say anything about rendering, right? It doesn't say anything about rendering. That would be the cleanest way, right? I don't understand. Oh, we disabled the script. See here, we disabled the script. So if I continue now, you can see we're disabling the script, but we want to disable the whole game object, right? So no. We disable it. We want to disable all children, right? On enable, on disable. Unity disable all children on disable. I'm not sure that's what we want. Set active recursive. That's 2011, so that's probably not what we want. Problem with Unity, right? You get lots of old answers. Set active. Okay. Wouldn't it be nice 10 years ago? I don't want to manually. Unity disable all children. I'm going to remove the on disable. So you can set active. Game object set active. I'm not sure game object dot set active is the inverse of paused, right? I'm not sure. I'm going to read the documentation in a second. I just want to disable the tree, and probably we're disabling the camera now, right? So, okay, we disabled the cameras, and now we can re-enable it. So we can click. It won't render, but we can click. And that's easy to fix, right? So what if we create an empty... I'm going to rename this in a second, right? To something more sensible. And then we move the camera under the... Okay, wait. So this game has only the position with the Z layer, right? And the camera. So, and the script. I don't want to reattach the script because it's hooked up to the other stuff. So I'm going to take the camera, move it on this game object, right? And then move the game actually under the camera. Oh no, that's not what I want, right? Wait. What I want is I want the camera to be above the game, right? So I want them to switch places. So and I'm gonna create an empty just top level game just so we don't get too confused, right? Okay, this is our top level game, just our structural object, and we move all of this under there, right? And I'm gonna put the Z minus 10 here just for the moment. And now I want the camera and the game to switch places, right? So I'm going to move the camera under the top level scene, right? Wait, again. So the game manager is under game, right? I want the game manager to be under top level. Right, so we just added one more layer, and I hope none of the wiring broke, and Unity was smart enough to... Seems we got lucky. The pause got broken, right? I'm not sure why the pause got broken. But we're going to fix that in a second. So, and now we want the camera and the game to switch places, right? So we move the camera under top level game, and then game under the camera, and then everything here under game. Right? It will shout at us. Editing the hierarchy in Unity is. So game gets zone progress. So I guess, so the debug UI had the game manager, right? The debug UI, where is it? The debug UI had the game in here, and it still does. So why is it broken? Because the game was smart, right? The game got the game manager where the tag. So the game manager is not under the game anymore, right? It's a sibling. It's a sibling. And the same with the camera, which is like, oh, God. So what we can do is, instead of making it like this, right, so we make some assumption about the hierarchy, but that is not true, right? Because the game manager is under the parent, right? So, and I'm not sure we should do this. Right? We go 2 levels up. We are here. We go to the game camera, and from there we go to the top level game, and from there we find the game manager, right? Maybe the game manager should be under the game. Maybe we just undo this here. Right, and just move the game manager under the game. That's the downside of manual of finding stuff, right? And I'm not sure if the camera is actually ever used. So for the zoom, so the zoom will break, but let's see if this works at all, right? So this works. The thing is, if we set it active, it stops being rendered. So we could just recursively find children and children, right? We could just recursively find children and children, and I don't want to do this. This is just silly, right? I want the update to stop. Okay, I think the restructuring is not that bad, so I'm gonna leave that in, but it's making me cry, right? This is making me cry. I'm not sure why this camera finding works, right? Oh, because the camera is tagged. We're not finding by name, we're finding by tag, and tag is global, so that works. We're reaching my limit for what I can stand of Unity, so probably another 40 minutes, and then that was very cold coffee. So, okay. So we need to do this differently, right? So we go the fish route. So the fish is doing too much, right? That the fish is doing a lot of stuff that the fish shouldn't be doing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give the fish a reference to the game, right? And right now, we probably should be spawning the fish from the game, and then the game telling the fish, hey, here I am, right? So we have the fish here, which has we have the fish here. So we give the fish our game, right? No magic there. Still restructuring, right? But that means the fish now knows the game. So on update, it can ask the game, right? It can ask the game. And here we kind of jumping back and forth between the structures. So who owns what state is where? We should probably go back to the drawing board, make this a clean architecture. But at this point, I just want to finish this game and never touch Unity again. I didn't say that. Pick which engine we use. So usually I would stop here and refactor and do the zone manager and the game and the logic and remove logic from the fish, because I mean, there's not too much logic in the fish. So what we could do is, and the problem is if you paused, so we want the waiting for start to happen, right? Even if we paused, we want the, so probably we just want the update swimming to handle the pause, and everything else we don't care because nothing is happening. So and probably the fixed, maybe the fixed update just doesn't do anything. So if game is paused, return, right? If the game is paused, we don't update the swimming. Probably should have a configuration that says in which state, and everything else we will do in pause, but the fixed update will also stop, right? Why is this underlined? Expensive method. I mean, yeah. So, but only one. So let's see if this works. The fish is still animated and the coins are still animated. Which I think is kind of okay. Which I believe is kind of okay. So I can't die, right? But if I unpause and die and pause, the coins are still falling. So the obstacle, the pickups also need to check. Oh. So basically, it's each object's own responsibility now to check if it paused. In any other system, we would just say, yeah, top level here, game update, block update for children, right? Can we Unity game object don't update children? Just stop it. I mean, This is Unity getting in our way, right? In our own engine, just to this one here, right? Entity manager. This is a bad example. I want to show you the simplest point of entry, right? So we have our zone manager. We have our game, right? And our game has an update method, and yeah, we do the same chaos here. I'm sorry about this. Right? If we're paused, if we're not paused, we do the update for the fishes and all other entities, and otherwise we don't do anything, right? We just don't do anything. And that's all I want. Return. If I am paused, don't update my children. And that's not something Unity can do. So this works for the fish. Now, sadly enough, all the obstacles, but the pickups, right? Technically the obstacles as well. Did we actually? Oh, we have it in the obstacle, right? So the obstacle knows the game manager. So in update, I mean, we could just do this, right? We should always have a game manager anyway, right? If game manager is paused, we return, right? We're done. We don't do anything. Let's try this. Disabling the tree would be so easy. So pause, everything is frozen, the animation is still on, but this is kind of cute. This is, I think, I'm not sure. It doesn't feel completely wrong. The feedback to the user is missing. I wonder if, right, the fish has an animator, right? So the fish has an animator, and just for the fish, right, to check. The fish has an animator, right? We have the animator. So what if in update, if game is paused, right? We set the animator. Yes, this would allow to trigger something, but the playback speed. Can we just set the speed to 0? And else we set animator speed to 1. Can we do that? Will that stop the animation of the fish? We could do the same for the coins, but to be honest, I kind of like being able to do this. This feels better. I mean, we have to be careful if we have opponents or if you could crash, so probably the seaweed should stop. But that means all obstacles will stop and the pickups are obstacles, so And this shows the difference between paused and frozen, right? And probably we should dim the background. But for today, I think this is good enough, right? So, and also it stops swimming up, right? So this is also paused. I can still do this. And I want to do even the respawn is paused, right? So that this is. We don't have the P handler, so So I'm kind of okay with this approach. With something bigger, I probably wouldn't be okay. But with something bigger, probably not everything. I would have an obstacle manager that moves the obstacles instead of each of them having an attached mono behavior, right? So flipping it upside down. But for this game, it's fine, right? So who handles the toggle pause? I think we handle the key here, right? We handle the P key here. And we have basically we do this, right? So in game, and I'm just gonna do it right here. Right here. If you, oh, no, I'm not gonna do it right here. I'm gonna do it in the update, obviously. If you press P, right, we're just gonna toggle pause. That's why it's a function, right? This expensive method invocation. I don't know what writer's trying to tell me. So P. Oh. Yeah, okay. Maybe we don't want get key. Right? Maybe we want get key down. And maybe while we're here for the fish, it wasn't never important, right? But maybe we want also get key down here. Because when you're dead, it's not handled, so it's only handled one frame, but you might be holding it from entering your name or I don't know. So I can pause here, unpause here, pause here, unpause here. I can swim and pause. It's kind of weird with them hanging in midair, but then I kind of like it. And you see the Z fighting it pretty hard, right? Because Unity switches the render order all the time. I don't know why, because it's just one batch. Might be doing something weird with the batching. Now this looks like, but we already have it to do in the right. We already have that, so boom. Nice. So this is pause working. I want to enable and disable the settings button, right? Let's have a quick look in V2 in RS, how we did it there. I could also look in the Godot version. Right, so when we press here, the button fades in and fades out. I'm not doing the fadeable buttons today, but I might be doing the start of this. So we're doing the non-fading version that just hides and shows. And probably I can use set active for that. So let's see. So in the game, right? In the game, in the configure, we say if game manager is paused. If we are paused, then we take the, oh, no, wrong place, undo. So in the in-game pause menu, right, when we toggle the pause and toggle pause, then we say, okay, here, if game is paused, right? If the game is paused, else. So if the game is paused, we take the settings button. I'm not sure where the minus came from. Dot parent set active true. How to what type is parent of Unity mono behavior parent? What is the parent? Oh, we have the game object. Oh, we get the game object, right? We can get the game object. We can't get the... And we just set the game up. Cannot resolve game object? Ah. Game object only work. We're not... We have a component, right? Okay. Okay. Properties. Is there hidden or something? Visible. Visible. Right, we're gonna do the fade, right? Don't worry. And probably we should put that into a method as well. I just want to see if that button disappears. Settings button not found. Okay. Because the in-game HUD this is not what I wanted anyway, right? It was just the next function under the setup, so I assumed I have my standard structure, which I... Yes, and Unity is running, right? So let's stop this. Why is settings button not found? null reference. Where? Wouldn't it be nice if it told us who's this? Okay. Get component requires that the requested component button derives from mono behavior or is an interface. Okay, button is not. What is button? Unity get button from game object. Eight years ago. But yeah, that's what I tried, right? But get component requires that the requested component button derives from mono behavior or component or is an interface. Okay, let's fix the get zoom here real quick, right? Because that is just in game. In game, right? The get zoom, it's not finding the camera, I guess. Oh, come on, Unity. So if camera geo equals null, debug log error, main camera not found, right? Let's see if that triggers. We changed the hierarchy, so obviously everything fell apart. And I think this is also, I don't know what we, right? Can we clear this and not see old errors? So oh, it's working, but it's too early. So what if we just make this public camera? Sorry. I hate wiring up this in wiring this up. Wait, this was game, right? Game has a public camera. Can you please? Can you reload this? We have to fix the. Right, and then every camera becomes camera. And please remove this if Unity stops. Thank you. Okay, now we can drag this camera in here. Right, and if we press play here. I'm just gonna do the same. I'm gonna cop out. All right, so we're gonna replace this. I'm gonna leave it in, right? Because I've mentally given up on on Unity a little bit because it keeps getting in our way without any benefits, right? So we have a pause button. Now we have a settings button. Right, the pause button is not there yet, but now that means now we have to manually wire it up, which is a bit annoying because we know the structure, right? Wait, this is the in-game pause menu CS, right? In-game pause menu. Where? Can you please? Where? Wait. Game camera hides inherent member. Can we just do this? Some of this project source files refer to API that has changed. These can... What? Could you tell me what you're doing when touching my files? I mean, obviously... Ah! Okay, what if we rename this thing to refactor, rename this thing to main camera instead, right? No? And then here, Unity. I have no idea which object this is, right? I have no idea what this here means. So we can pause, right? We can pause. We can pause. We can kill. We can pause while dying. This sounds right. We swim up. And we can respawn, right? So we didn't break anything so far. The idea was that we give the game... the in-game pause menu where we got distracted, we give it a settings button and a pause button, right? So here, Y, right? Edit script. We have a public button here, right? Why is this not exposed here? The game is exposed, right? Because button is a text element. I'm not sure we're using the right button, and that might have been the problem from the start, right? Because remember, is it a UI button? Makes more sense, right? No? A standard button that sends an event when clicked. Unity. Okay, let's okay. So can I drag the pause button in here? Yes, I can. Can I drag the settings button in here? Yes, I can. So what is this error? Edge wake up. On enable. I have no idea. I have no idea what. Probably when we reshuffled the hierarchy. This is UI elements, right? We don't want UI elements. We want Unity. Is this not a button? Is this not a button UI image? Image, right? And then we add a component and call that button. That's the same thing, right? That is exactly the same thing here. I mean, this is Unity UI legacy button. The Text Mesh Pro. But I mean, the thing is, right? Create UI. But okay, right? So I mean, to me, this looks like canvas renderer image button, right? This is the same thing, right? It has a text, but as soon as I remove this text, right, they're exactly the same. So why can I drag this in here, right? Can I? This should be the wrong type, right? I mean, this has a button component. But this is a wrong button, right? This button here is this button, right? And that's a Unity UI. How do I get to the scripting API for this? There has to be. Wow. I mean, literally, see the API documentation for interactable, and it links to selectable. And the docs are completely. But does this mean settings button interact? I don't want. Okay, maybe going straight to the source is so selectable. We don't want selectable, right? What is the... Okay, let's go here. A button is selectable, click handler submit. Okay, fair enough. What's the... Shouldn't... It's not a... How can I hide a button? Unity UI hide button from script. I mean... Yeah, we don't want to use ongoing. Dot game object set active. We've been there, right? We have been there. Really? Really? Full circle, right? I hope that edge arrow is gone. I kind of feel weird with this button behind me. Oh. We never dragged that in. Or did it? Did it? I mean, we're gonna make that our toggle button anyway, but scene, right? This one here. This one here, if I go here. Oh no, it only gets null reference. Line 39. If game is paused. Wait, why is game not set at this point? Game is game, right? Probably this is start is to maybe game doesn't exist yet. Okay. So I'm gonna have a little private void update settings button, right? And I'm gonna move this in there, right? It's settings button, and on toggle pause we just say update settings button. So we don't have we don't do it initially, we do it on the first click, right? And then game should definitely be set. I mean, where's this error coming from? I mean, that is the behavior I want, right? Why can't I do this at startup? I mean, Unity mono behavior life cycle, right? Order of execution. Awake, on enable, reset, start. Start is only ever called once, right? So at start, so we know this function works, right? We know it works, but in configure, it doesn't work, right? Because game, for some weird reason, is null. So let's press this button. All right, so we hit this error because game is null. I mean, that's the only. But if I look at this chart, I would assume on awake, somewhere here, things are initialized, right? Unity start order. So I would assume that all are awakened, all are enabled, all are reset, and then all are started. We could do it in a coroutine, right? So Unity coroutine from start. That's not how we spell that, but all right. So we could just start a coroutine. And do it a little bit later, right? Can we have an unnamed start? So we can do a yield, right? So you can do a yield. We can just say I want to wait for one frame. There was something. I mean, so what we could do, right? We could do yield return wait for fixed update. We can't because we are void. That's I mean, but that means we have to do this, right? Which means yes, Unity. So it's been a long time. I mean, we could just wait. Actually, wait for end of frame is probably better. Oh, we need to new that. Okay. It's not a method, it's a... So instead of doing it instantly, we wait till the first frame is done. Something is missing, I don't know what. Probably because I edited this script while... I mean, who needs error messages, right? Oh, look. Look very closely. Very closely. Because for one frame, the wrong button will be there, which is not what I want. I mean, this works, right? So we probably, I mean, what we probably could do is, right, in-game pause menu. What we probably could do is, right, I mean, will our children be initialized before we are initialized? Can we ask? Can we just say in configure, we set this to hidden, right? And basically we do the same for the pause button, right? And then here after the after the wait, we set the pause button to true and the other button to. So we start with a clean screen, right? It's polishing, but oh, I edited the script again. Wow. Yeah, we're too deep into this. I have no idea. We'll debug this. I mean, we will have fades, right? But so we start the game, first frame of the game, probably transitioning in from a loading screen, and then it fades in to show the user, hey, press here for pause. I mean, a little bit of pull, right? And this will be so we need the fading buttons next time. To be honest, this was less painful than I had hoped for. I want the cross-fading buttons, and the settings button cross-fades to nothing. It's still a... Yeah, so we have the fading button, so we do that for the settings button, and then we have the cross-fading button, and we do that for the pause button. And these buttons are probably too... Are they... I know, I asked the same thing when we did Godot. Are they really this big? Yes, they are really this gigantic. Oh, no. Yes, no. I mean, this is more. Yes, they are. And they are. But other than this, we're slowly getting there. I'm not this mashed texture. Okay, enough games. Enough games for today. I wish it would tell me what's broken. I mean, let's check. Let's check real quick. Right? These are working, so they're wired up correctly. This is wired up. This is wired up. This is wired up. And so this is wired up correctly. That's weird. Wait a second. Why is it from script? Shouldn't that be the zone name? Oh, okay. Something didn't clean up correctly for some reason, or maybe the zone was just messed up. This looks good. So I have no idea what this is telling me. Everything is working as expected. Or probably just Unity being Unity. With that, we added the new script, right? So let's get out of here. I'm cheating. All right, we added the pause menu. We still want the settings screen and the fadeable toggle button, so probably we'll do that on Thursday. But for now, S01E16 add in-game pause menu to Unity. It's not a menu, it's just a pause button, and but you know what I mean. Whatever, lots of anchored stuff changing here. Enabled, disabled. What is disabled here? There's a mono behavior that is disabled. I have no idea. There's a mono behavior on coins value rect that is disabled. What? Oh, it's a content size fitter. Okay. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if it told me here, hey, this is the... Oh, I could have seen by this, but a name would help, right? Bit of UI, bit of UI, bit of more UI. Spacer, UI, more UI, completely unreadable diffs. Oh, IDs changed. I'm just going to stage this script. We added the game to the fish so it can handle its pause, and we paused the animation. This was actually pretty nice. We don't update the swimming. We only kill on key down. We completely stop the fixed update when it's paused. It's sad that we have to manually do this. We pass in the main camera instead of finding it. We left the old code for reference. On P, we toggle the pause. We just renamed the camera to main camera, and we toggle the pause. We're the game manager. Sounds good to me. The game manager now knows that it's paused, right? We removed that debug noise. We stop the update early. If we're paused, we just stop, and then we have the toggle logic here. It's UI, not UI element. Otherwise, we cannot access it from script. I don't want to know. Unity UI is Unity UI. We have some initial logic, and we wait for the first frame to end before we do stuff. We could just do a fade in at that point once we have the fading button. So I'm kind of cool with that. That means we need a fading toggle button, which is multi-layer fade. Oh, that's going to be fun. We have an update for the settings button. We use set active instead of visible because it's that button and not that button, whatever that means. We update that on toggle. When we're paused obstacles don't update, and we move the time velocities into that. Check if we have a game manager, which is fair. We changed some button mesh types and the texture compression on all our buttons, actually, because they looked like not so good. Looked like not so good. Why is this file? Oh, I accidentally opened that. Okay, fair enough. Unity, this is rider, scripts, rider. Oh, the meta file for the in-game pause menu. I really need to have an automated build for Unity, so I realize when, oh, and the fish, obviously, we never pressed the stage button, right? So this looks good. Commit this, rebase, push. And then I am gonna play some fish, and it's taking forever to start. Let's see how far I can get with the pause cheat on. La 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 la. coins. Oh, my coins. It was nice having you here. We're going to continue with this on Thursday, doing actually this thing here and the crossfade buttons. Probably start with this thing just as an easy warm up. And then do the crossfading buttons, which probably will end up being prefabs with... Oh, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. As always, it has been a pleasure doing this with you. I will see you when I see you. Stay safe.